Members of the herd, what is up? We are back, and today I am talking about my post effect settings. A lot of people have asked about these settings in the chat. I get asked at least once a day, so I'm going to post these for you guys. You can check them out, try them for yourself, use them as a baseline even, and tweak your own and try to get your own version of them. But yeah, this is just what I found was comfortable, what worked for me, both indoors and outdoors. I did a lot of testing, so just bear with me. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of side by side. We'll show you a little before and after, and you can tell me which you prefer. I toyed around with some things. I noticed that some things did work better indoors, but then when you would come outside, it didn't work at all. Mostly in the brightness. Like if you started messing around with brightness, if you started touching brightness at all, I found that it just washed everything out the second you came outside. While inside it looked really good. So I guess you could maybe come up with a couple of different configurations and run like one for indoor maps, one for more outdoor maps, and kind of go back and forth. But these settings right here I found have worked, regardless of whether I'm playing labs, interchange, reserve, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. These have worked well indoors and outdoors. But again, yeah, we'll just go back and visualize. I can show you guys the difference. I wish the NVIDIA shaders were still on because I did test them and compare them to the NVIDIA shaders. I used to use color for the vibrance, and I used to get just a little bit of that green, like that saturation. And then I used to use details to get that HD, our toning and the clarity. So I wish I still had those active that I can compare those as well. But you still see the night and day difference. Again, this is just the outdoor comparison. It works really well in like weather, works well in rain and fog and all that kind of stuff too. But we all know it never rains in reserve. My reticle looks really washed out. See how it kind of blends in? You can't really see the center of the dot. Like it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't really pop. And then with the post effects, look at the difference. Look at how sharp that is. That just stands out. It's so contrasting. It's so much more robust. The red really kind of stands out. So if you're trying to make a quick shot, you can get that really quick. Kind of easier for your eyes to pick up on, easier to see. Probably go bottom side dome for our indoor comparison, just because that's going to be a nice dark spot. You might notice that I haven't used a lot of like the sharpens, the like Luma sharpens, and the adaptive sharpens. That's because when you pop a stim, it naturally sharpens the game. So on my actual base graphic settings, I have all of these removed, but I also have my sharpness at the lowest possible setting, because then when I pop my stim, I find it's like just a healthy amount of sharpness. It doesn't get too sharp. It just has like a good, clean, crisp edge to it. And that also kind of reminds me, like when I'm not stimmed, everything looks a little bit softer. Like you can see the difference. Actually, I could show you better using the setting, but you can see how the lighting you can kind of see on the railing right there how it just gets a little bit sharper. But that's pretty much what it looks like. This right now is what it looks like when I have a stim popped, and this is what it looks like when I don't. So you get that little bit of soft focus, but again, it just reminds me to pop a stim, so it's kind of great. So that's what it's going to look like when you pop a stim. That's what it looks like without a stim. Okay, so again, I'm just going to highlight exactly what the difference is with it on and off, and then also what it'll look like with a stim, but outdoors. So this is on and off. It's a little overcast now too. It's kind of good. We're getting some different weather conditions. So yeah, there you go. You see the difference. It just sharpens everything enough. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. You don't want it to be too sharp. Because then when you start playing with these, after it being already sharpened, it gets a little crazy. Like it just looks like it looks too grainy to me. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's personal preference. Whatever you want to do, like I said, you can take a peek at these, use these as a baseline, and then tweak your own. I played with all of the different color gradings. I landed on chill wave. It's only like a 15 intensity, because if you do too much, then it starts to get a little too, washed out. But I find it does create like a nice, like without it, everything's a little too white. It's almost like it's been, like there's a weird filter, like a grain filter over it. But when you add that just a little bit, it just kind of darkens everything down. Just kind of makes everything pop a little more. And you could probably add a little more of it too. Like if you wanted to, you could probably go all the way to like 50, or I wouldn't go to 100, but yeah, I was running like 15. Yeah, see, 15 is nice. It still has a little bit of softness to it. The lines aren't quite as harsh, but it just, yeah, it feels right. You know what I mean? It just kind of feels natural. As far as any game could be, you know what I mean? The textures look good, everything looks fine. Yeah, so this is me running around now with a stim popped, obviously. So it's gonna look a little bit sharper than the baseline stats, but that's pretty much it for my post effect settings. If you have any questions as to why I run things a certain way, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm live 6 days of the week, except Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and that's just twitch.tv/BAMS. But I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Take it easy. BAMS out.